Yeah. So kicking off with our speaker sessions, we are diving into the world of high-performance Flutter apps with none other than Vivek Yadav. Vivek is a Google developer expert and is a mobile dev lead in Tata Digital. He has over 6 years of experience, and he will be sharing his experience with us on the stage today. He's, apart from being a fabulous speaker, he's an organizer, he's one of the organizers of the Flutter India and Flutter Mumbai community. Along with that, he is also connected with PROCoach community. Remember, in Vivek's world, there's only one thing that should give a lag response. That is your Monday morning alarms, not your Flutter apps. So with a big round of applause, please welcome Vivek Yadav on stage.
हेलो ठीक है परफेक्ट इधर गुजराती किसको आती है हिंदी किसको आती है और किसको ये दोनों में से नहीं आती है ओके कूल और यहाँ पे फ्लटर किसको नहीं आता है फ्लटर नहीं आता आप लोग को इनका प्राइस बढ़ाना था एक्चुअली इनका 50% प्राइस बढ़ाना था टिकट का कूल सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड हाउ टू मैक्सिमाइज परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ योर फ्लटर ऐप ओके दिस टॉक इज वेरी जनरल you might already know almost everything out of it okay so this is a reminder for you okay that we have these many things that you can consider while maximizing performance of your app. So whenever you feel that your application is not working as expected or optimizations needed, at that time you can just take out this photo. Basically you can just take a photo of the slides, take out that photo and then go through each point and maybe after that your application would be performant. Cool. So let's get started. My name is Vivek Yadav. As Saurav have already told you, I am tech lead at Tata Digital. Okay, have you guys used Tata New application? अच्छा किसी ने order किया इसमें से? So if you can show me a successful order, I have a swag for you. Yeah, so we'll meet somewhere. Just show me your successful order, and I have a swag for you. Yeah, apart from that, I'm Google developer expert for Flutter and Dart, and thanks Google and Flutter team for that. And I'm also a startup mentor under Google for Startup Accelerator. So if you have a startup that you want to get nominated in Google for Startup, you can reach out to me. Okay. Apart from that, I'm helping tech community at Flutter Mumbai. I hope you guys know about that. Okay, and PROCoach. So PROCoach is my own community, which is inactive right now, but I'm gonna make it active after this conference. Okay, so thank you so much, Abhishek, for hosting this one, because आज अपना शेयर कुछ पड़ेगा. आज फ्लटर सीखना है शेयर, राइट? किसको पता है ये चीज कि शेयर आज सीखना है? अबे क्या बे? Okay, how many of you know this, Instagram वाला thing? मतलब बाकी सब पढ़ाई करने वाले. I mean, you guys are so talented, so busy that you don't even open Instagram or Twitter. Is it? Yes, no? Okay, cool. So let's get started. This is our agenda. We'll first see importance of performance. Okay, because because we are developers, right? We don't care about performance. We only care about our own code. Right? We don't care about what APIs we are using or what our colleague is doing. We only care about our own code, that is A plus B, and we'll say, okay, my A plus B is fine. Now go to that other guy. Okay? He will fix those things. Cool. So we'll look at why performance is needed, why you as a developer or you as a product manager should invest your time in understanding performance. Okay? There are a lot more things. We'll check that. Then performance metrics. So this is where you will take screenshot or basically a photo of all the performance metrics that you can consider while maximizing performance of your Flutter app. Okay? I might have left some of them, and if that is the case, you can reach out to me and tell me. I'll add that in next, uh, sorry, in next slide or next time. Okay. After that, we'll go through performance metrics related to Flutter. Which things you can consider while improving performance of your Flutter application. Okay. In the end, question answers. Cool. So let's get started. Importance of performance in Flutter application. Is it different than any other application in software engineering? Yes, no? Yes? Yes, no? ए भाई पानी डालो यार इन लोग के ऊपर सब सो गए okay, it is little bit different than other applications, okay, because Flutter itself is a different framework as compared to other. It is also a UI framework, okay, written completely different way as compared to Android or iOS, okay. So, first thing, why performance of your application is important, that is user experience, okay. Tell me one thing, if you don't like an application, if you have very bad user experience of an application, would you like to use it for a longer time? No. You will uninstall it right away, right? How many of you use credit application? And how many of you have credit card? Okay, so I was using credit when I didn't have credit card. So that good, that good was this user experience. So yeah, user experience is really good. And how many of you use IRCTC to book railway application? Okay, so you have to shout either 1 or 10. Rate its user experience. 1 is lowest, 10 is highest. Okay, someone gave 0. So if in market, if government launches or some other vendor launches, same thing, would you be using IRCTC? No. For example, a lot of us use Make My Trip or Your Trip, or there are lots of other things, right? They charge us 300, 400 rupees just for booking that ticket, which IRCTC will give us for free. But still we go and pay them because of user experience. Okay. Now, next thing is engagement. Let's say your user experience is really good, but what if you don't, or what if you are not able to engage a user? Okay. You might came across an application which is really good, but you don't feel like using it because there is no wow moment there, or there is no something which will keep you using it, right? So that's another important aspect of performance, because if your application is not performant, okay, you will not be able to add any feature which will have engagement. For example, for engagements, you have games, you have leaderboards, you have gamification in your application, right? And all of this won't work if your application is good in terms of performance. Next is retention. When your user experience is good, when you are able to engage a user, that's when retentions come into play. Okay. How many of you use an application for a week and then uninstall it? But you never uninstalled a TikTok app, right? Until government banned it. Yeah. Because it was able to retain you, it was able to give you good user experience, it was able to engage you overall application. Again, retention will come with a cost of performance. If your application is much more performant, then only you will be able to retain a user. Okay? And there are lots more other things as well. If your application is crashing, I will uninstall that application, right? And third thing is, with all of this, business matters, right? If your application is not in good performance, your business will not earn money, right? For example, CRED. If CRED is not good, you won't be using it, right? And if you will not use that, CRED will not earn money. Same with other application. If an e-commerce application is not good, it is crashing, it is not able to deliver what it wants, then you won't order from that application, right? And if you're not ordering from that application, basically that company is not earning money. Okay? So now you know importance of performance? Yes? Okay. Because I had to add this slide because we are the developer, we don't feel or we don't spend that time on learning performance thing. You know why performance is important. You might spend your time on data structure, algorithm, but you don't know why. So these are the reasons why you should spend your time. Okay, so let's see some performance metrics. Okay, you can take screenshot of that. In the end, I'll let you know on that. The first thing is speed. Okay, your application speed. How your application is, I mean, how fast your application is able to transition between screens, or in how much, how much time it is taking to complete a task. Okay, for example, if you're ordering something and it is taking more than, 20, 30 seconds, you will cancel that order, right? So speed matters. Then, responsiveness. If your application is not responsive on multiple screens, okay, how many of you don't know responsiveness? Okay, everybody, that's good. So if your application is not responsive enough on all screens, you might not use it, on your different devices, or even you won't use it on your own mobile as well. Okay. Second thing is mobile usage. Memory usage. So if your application is taking so much memory, okay. For example, how many of you use VS Code? And I will tell you why you are using VS Code. You're using VS Code because Android Studio is taking a lot of memory, right? So your application should use less memory, okay, and it is use memory in a way. Then CPU usage. How many of you don't use Chrome? Okay, and how many of you close Chrome whenever you think your application, your laptop is lagging? So Chrome is the first thing that we see and we close it, right? Because it takes a lot of CPU to process things. Same battery consumption. Application is taking too much battery time, okay? Or if you come to know, okay, this application is draining my battery, you will uninstall it or not use it. Then offline functionality. Your application should have offline functionality. Otherwise, you won't use it for a longer time, right? Okay. Crash rate. If your application is crashing oftenly, would you use it? You won't use your own application if it will crash for multiple days, right? Then error rate. What is error rate? A non-fatal errors. If your applications keep giving you non-fatal errors, for example, if it is not able to proceed you for order because you use string instead of int in your JSON parsing, right? You can relate it, right? Okay. Minimal lag. If your application is not lagging, okay, then you will keep using it. Otherwise, you won't use it. Then startup time. This is very important. Very important, especially for web. How many of you use Flutter in web? And how many of you like its startup time? Yeah. So startup time is also very important. Then background processing. We know that a lot of applications do background processing, and as soon as we come to know, okay, it is doing background process, what do? We hit force stop to that application. We don't like that. Okay, so you have to minimize your background processing. Then predictable and relatable user experience. So if you know that after my order screen, I will get a payment screen, okay, then you know how this application is going to behave. But if after order screen, it will show you some ads, or it will take you to the home page and then ask you to do a payment. Okay, so that is a bad user experience, right? So you might not use it for a longer time. Oh, sorry. You want to take photo of that? Yeah, you can take it. So after that, we'll see some ways, okay, some ways where you can optimize your Flutter with respect to these metrics. I may have missed something, and if in that case, reach out to me and let me know. Okay, cool. Let's move. Performance in Flutter. How many of you think Flutter is performant by default? Okay, how many of you think that you don't need to work on performance for Flutter? Okay, you all think that you have to work on performance? Really? Okay, how many of you went back and looked at your code and you optimized it? No. You all are liars. Cool. We don't do it oftenly because Flutter itself is very performant, okay, very optimized, because most of the time we don't even think, okay, our application is lagging unless we get a review on App Store or Play Store. Yeah. So for UI, we have minimum UI rebuilds. Okay, you have to minimize your UI rebuilds. Basically, your build method should not call at more than once, I would say. It should never call after one time. Okay, you may use stateless, stateful, but it should not rebuild again and again. Okay, how many of you use state management? Okay, how many of you don't use state management? Okay, I like that guy. Okay, don't use expensive widget. If somebody tells me any example of expensive widget, I'll give a swag. I don't know, you can stand, anyone can stand up. Achha. Backdraw filter, yeah, right. She already got that, sorry. Okay, cool, we'll talk again. So, yeah, you don't have to use expensive widget because it will take a lot of memory or CPU. Okay, use builders. How many of you know that you have to use list view builder instead of list view? Okay, rest of you don't know. If that is the case, you have to go back and replace all your list views with list view builder. Okay, use state management. Okay, so I asked that guy that why you are not using state management. Okay. Okay, by the way, do you like Flutter block? You can shout out. How many of you like Reverpod? Okay. I would say you can use any state management unless and until it is giving you what you want. Okay. Based on your business requirement, based on your Flutter tree, based on your other requirements, feature requirements, you have to use a state management. You don't have to use blindly a Reverpod or Flutter block or a MobX or anything else. Okay. Optimize, optimize scrolls. So earlier I told you that go and replace all of your list view with list view builders, right? But that might create a problem when you have nested list views. Okay, in nested list views, your Flutter has to recalculate everything for you. Okay, and that's expensive, right? So in that case, you can go and use slivers. Okay, so in the UI part, what we are trying to do is reduce rebuilds. We are trying to reduce Flutter's work on calculating width size of your widget. Okay, so that's basic. Then, minimize tree complexity. So, how many of you use any widget from internet and you think your problem got solved? Okay, whoever is not here raising your hand, you also do that. Okay, basically everyone do that. They go on Stack Overflow, they say, okay, this is working, just copy paste and get along with that. Okay, but you should go back to Flutter Inspector, see how many, how long is that your widget trees, and you should try to minimize that, because the longer widget tree, that means longer Flutter calculation, or the longer Flutter has to recalculate everything whenever the screen will change, right? Sorry. Yeah, then memory. So that was all UI part, and that's what most of us do, okay, whenever we think our application is lagging. But there is more than that. The first thing is memory. So in memory, you should destroy all of your unused objects. How many of you do that? No, again, you are a liar. You don't even go and go back and see how many objects are lying in your memory pool, right? So now you should go back and see how many objects are there, okay, which are lying there, and you have to destroy that. Cool. Then use stateless widgets. I guess this is all we know, right? How many of you prefer stateful over stateless? I use it when I need it. I don't prefer anything. Okay. Sorry. Do not leak objects. How many of you know? Okay. How many of you have ever tried to find out if there is any object which is leaking? Okay. So look around. These are many. These only few people go back and work on the performance thing. Okay. So you have to find out using profilers that which object is leaking. For example, in our project, we found out that almost 500 objects were leaking, and as soon as we removed that, okay, we had almost 200 milliseconds of performance on overall application. Okay. Use better data structure. How many of you like this line? Okay, how many didn't like that? Okay, so this is for all the guys all the folks who ask that, do we really need data structure? Yes, you need data structure. Companies will ask data structure questions, to you in, yeah, to you in interviews, and that is because if you use bad data structure, it will end up in, bad memory optimization, right? For example, you can never use, you can not always use list. You can not always use map because it gets your things done. That doesn't mean it is right. Okay. Then use compress asset. Simple, right? Whatever assets you are using, you can compress it, or you can use it based on the screen size of your application. So you can conditionally import that itself. Then code splitting. How many of you know code splitting? Okay, so there is a term code splitting that you can use especially for Flutter Web, okay, and it will help you to reduce overall size of your application. Okay, basically if you're not using some feature, it will not even load its code in your memory, and that's why you will save little bit memory itself. Object pooling. So if you have to use multiple objects, okay, try using object pooling. Okay, you can reuse same object, you don't have to destroy and create again. Okay. Then for CPU, we have isolates. How many of you used isolate? That's really good thing, right? Yeah, so you have to use isolates for long running task or heavy task. Then cache network calls. So if you're using, or if you're doing same network call again and again, you can cache it. Okay, how many of you use cache network image? Almost everyone, right? So this is the reason. Use method channels. How many of you have created plugins? Okay, and how many of you have used method channels? Perfect. So now go back and create plugins because it will help you in writing better code, because we know Kotlin is little faster than that, right? Cool. Use FFI. How many of you know FFI? This is a really cool thing. Okay, if you want to know more about FFI, you can connect with me. It is really cool thing, and it will improve your performance of your application. Maybe by 50%, maybe by 50%. Okay. Use features and streams for all the asynchronous thing. Okay. Don't block your UI. Okay. That was all for Flutter related thing. Is there anything I missed? Please connect with me. Sorry? Yeah, please. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So if there is something I missed, please connect with me. I will help that particular thing to reach out to everyone. And I'll post that on Twitter with your name as well. Okay. Cool. So next is Flutter DevTools. How many of you know Flutter DevTools? And how many of you think it is really amazing? You can shout out. Okay, cool. So we have some dev tools like Flutter Inspector, Performance View, which will help you to find out if your application is really doing great work or not. Using Flutter Inspector, you can find out the widget tree. You can find out is there any unused widget lying on the Flutter tree, on your widget tree. Okay, and then you can optimize it. Then you have Performance View. In Performance View, you will find out if your application is really doing good thing, right? While using the application, okay, if your UI is taking more than 16 milliseconds, that means your application is lagging, okay? And you can find that on Performance View, okay? Then CPU profiler. Again, if you want to profile your CPU, if you want to find out how your application is working on CPU part, you can use CPU profiler, memory view, network view, and all of this will be shown on a live by Ashita in next talk. Okay, so I hope you go watch that carefully and don't miss that thing. Okay, cool. Anything else you think I'm missing in Dart tools? Okay, there's few more things that I'm missing, but we can go and find out that on flutter.dev. Okay, so that's it from my side. The conclusion is that by prioritizing performance of your application, the developers can build a mobile application that is not only functional, but enjoyable to use, leading to long-term success achieving business goals. Do you agree with me? Again, I'll ask that first question. How many of you go and work on your performance of your application? I hope now you can go back and work on performance of your application. So, and also one thing, if a customer or a product manager says that application is slow, he is right. Application is slow. You're developing your application on MacBook or basically high-end machine. You're testing your application on iPhone or high-end Android phone. Okay, that's why you're thinking your application is, really working fast. But as soon as you run that application on lower-end device, that's when you come to know, okay, your application was lagging. Cool. So that's me, Vivek Yadav. If you want to connect with me, you can scan this code, or you can find me on x.com as VivekY259259. I am GDE and tech lead at Tata New. Okay, that's my time. But wait. Okay, no, you can clap for me, or give a shout out to me. Okay, so let's have a swag time. I guess I have 2-3 minutes. Okay, I have few questions. If you give right answers, I hope. Saurav, are you ready? Yeah, so we have some swags that will be delivered to you right now. Okay, but to answer that, you have to stand up. Basically, raise your hand and stand up. Okay, and first is stand up first. Okay, name any 3 dev tools. Yeah, he remembered that rule. Can somebody pass him that mic? Yeah, please. Or you can shout. Don't wait for Saurav. What Flutter? Okay, can somebody give him a t-shirt? Okay, next question. Any 2 memory optimization technique? Yeah. Oops. Whoa! Now we want to optimize electricity as well. Okay, that's cool. Best part is that my speaker is still working. Cool. Yeah, can somebody pass mic to that guy? He stood first, right? Who stand up first? You know. Essentials. A guy in essentials. You have to run, sort of. Yeah. Come on, yeah. 2 of memory optimization technique, and you will win a Tata New Skills T-shirt.
Okay, so we can obviously do lazy loading.
Sorry?
Lazy loading. Lazy loading.
Lazy loading?
Sorry. So lazy loading, and then obviously for API calls we could do with offline.
No. You can pass mic to someone else. Pass him. Yeah. No. To pass him. Yeah, we have to pass him. Sorry. Yeah. The rule is you have to stand up. Yeah.
Caching using list view builder, and also using the child in the
No, you can pass that mic to someone else.
animated. Okay.
Whom
Yeah.
to give? No. Make this side.
Yeah, pass him.
So we can use const keyword. So that will help with user rebuild, and also you can use dispose method. So that will dispose all the controller. And
Okay, you had only one, right? Can you pass that to that girl? Yeah. So again, let me repeat the question. It is about memory optimization, not UI rebuilds. Yeah.
We can use compressed assets. So that will be one thing. And we should not leak objects.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
One t-shirt for her as well. Okay. So, okay. Oops. Okay, you can't see anything here, right? Can we get that started? Or, okay, I can see my question here. So, I'll just, tell you the question. Third question is, any 3 UI optimization technique? Okay. Who was second? Yeah, give that to me. No, to that green shirt. Meanwhile, can we get this started?
Use builders, use state management, and minimize tree complexity.
Minimize?
Tree complexity.
Yes,
UI tree
right,
complexity.
right. Yeah. Please give that third t-shirt to him. Okay. And please have a huge round of claps, applause, and shouts for you guys. Whoa! So that's my time. If you want to connect with me, you can go to x.com and find me as Vivek Yadav. Okay. So over to you guys. Thank you so much. Yes. You want controversy? I'll give you controversy. Yeah, clean architecture is myth in Flutter. Even in modern application development, there is no such thing known as clean architecture. It depends on your business use case. It depends on your feature use case. For example, at Tata New, we have built completely different thing, as it was in my previous company. And in my previous company, I had different thing as it was in my previous company. Okay? So you don't just have to, stick with the clean architecture. Yes. Yeah. So you see, to improving startup time, you have to minimize memory usage. Okay? Because if your application is running on low memory, you have to optimize that. Second thing is that do not initiate everything at the startup. Okay? We as a Flutter developer, we have habit of initializing everything at start, right? Initialize Firebase, crash analytics, initialize analytics, initialize all the features, all the stores, whatever you have, right? But that is the wrong way. Because as a user, I just want to see that first thing on screen, and then followed by the actual first feature. That might be home page, that might be login page, right? I don't want to know if you have, loaded order page or some other page or not. So to minimize that, reduce, reduce initializing features, try to optimize your memories, and that's it. And don't initialize any unusable function at start. That's it. Okay. And run your application in release build. Yes. Yeah. How can I? Just scroll. Sorry. Yeah, scroll. Okay. So to optimize scroll, see first, if you don't have nested list views, use list view builder. Okay. And do not initialize anything, because that's where it will take more time. Second thing, if you have nested list views, use slivers. Okay. Again, while using slivers, you might end up using some expensive widgets. Try to remove that from your items. Horizontal. So use single child scroll view and use slivers. There. Let's do one thing. Let's connect that offline, because I want to understand your requirement clearly. Okay? But yeah. Okay, this would be last question. Hey, come on, shout out. वो उन लोग को कम्युनिटी गाइडलाइन से लेना पड़ेगा वहाँ पे.
Hi Vivek.
Yeah, hi.
Acha, in the context of Tata New app,
Okay,
could you
sorry.
share a specific?
I cannot talk more anything on Tata New app.
Okay. Acha, could you share a specific performance improvement or a optimization that had a significant impact on user experience?
Okay. So for user experience, what we did, okay, again, this is very general. What we did is we reduced initializing of features at startup. We reduced build size. Okay. We reduced, basically we are not, initializing everything at a startup. We have something known as lazy loading, as he told. Okay. So at startup, we are only initializing widgets and state management thing required for the particular feature. We are not doing anything else. Rest thing we have kept as a lazy loading. As soon as your application or feature, asks for it, at that particular point we are initializing it.
Vivek, do you think that using a lot of packages also impact the
Yeah.
performance?
Yeah.
Because I actually.
Because if you've seen my LinkedIn tweet, so LinkedIn post, so a week back I have posted something that if you don't know what actual thing that
Yeah, yeah.
package, okay, you will never know how your application will behave, because you never know if that package is really performant or not, is really optimized or not. Okay, so for that you have to go back, look at the code, if it is very performant or not. If it is not, you can fork that package, make it performant, and use it in your way.
Okay, we will connect after this, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
So, okay, that's my time. Sorry guys, I took little more time. But yeah, you can share t-shirts with winners. Winners can, go back to that stage and get that.
Yeah. Guys who have won,
Can you stand
please-
up, winners?
Yeah, can you please
I know
stand
that
up?
one.
We have a round of applause for them, and can you pass
There
the
was one more
t-shirts?
winner.
1, 2, 3rd.
There was one more winner.
3, na?
Yeah, this guy. Yeah. I'll connect with you offline. Okay. Don't worry, I will talk with you. Okay. Yeah. Cool, guys. Stage is yours. Sorry for taking more time.
Wow. So interesting, so elegant, just sounding like a wow. What an incredible session by Vivek Yadav. Let's give another round of applause.